Alright, good afternoon world. So, my name is Mark. I guess I'm just going to introduce projects I have going on so far. So this one right here was at one point a stock 2008 BMW 335i, but as you can see it is it's a little empty at the moment. So the plan for this car, obviously the engine, is I'm going to do some time attack, and ultimately I want to try to run Pikes Peak with this car. So I'm in kind of at a standstill with there right now. I mean, obviously I can still do the door cars, or still do take the doors off and then the rear window. And this car's got a sunroof, so I got to take that off also. But I need to do the cage in this car before I can make any additional progress. So kind of at a standstill right now. So a friend of mine said that they might be able to help out, so when it gets back in town we'll see what happens there. So this is going to be the engine for it. This is a 2003 LM7, came out of a 2003 Suburban. So it's everything on it's been replaced. So we got the LS3 style water pump as opposed to the original truck one. I got a new balancer. Obviously did a new intake. I got 52-pound injectors. I'm gonna upgrade these probably to some like 120s to 120-pound injectors. It's also got shaft rockers. It's been bored and stroked to a 383. Then there's a pretty big cam in here. I don't remember what the cam specs on it are, but it is it's not a small cam either. It's also got a dry sump system on it. So this is a daily engineering. I think it's a 4-stage. So I've got everything I need to get this running. I just haven't gotten around to it because I'm dealing with the brakes on my Suburban, on my actual Suburban. But once the brakes are done, I'm gonna try to get this thing running. It's just kind of sitting out here in my garage right now. And then once that's running, obviously the only thing left to be the cage, and then I start making some actual progress. Got the rear subframe out. Also, I have a winter's quick change that I'm going to put in here, so I need to take this one out and find some way to modify this one to fit that. And then the wheels, I've also got to figure the wheels out because I'm not running the standard hubs on here. I got some wide 5 hubs that I gotta convert to work on the IRS system instead of converting over to a solid axle, which would be cool, but it's a lot more work than I really want to do. Alright, up next is this one. This is my 1954 Hudson Hornet Special. This has got the it's got a 308 in it. It is not a 7X twin H power car. It's a standard single carb, but everything on it is original and it's in pretty good shape. There's some rust in here, but whenever I get around to this one, which might take a while, some perfume in there. When I get around to this car though, this is going to be just kind of a street car. So I've got a big block 632 that I'm going to put into this one, and it's going to get a 4-link rear end. And then I know another guy, so I need to get this car back halved because I'm going to put 10-inch or 275s in the rear, and I can't do that because of the way the frame rail is. So this is what's known as a step down chassis. So the frame rail is actually, well, in addition to being a unibody car, the frame rail comes back alongside, and then around here it kind of goes in and then straight back. And where the frame rail is located, I can't put anything bigger than these. I think these are 215s or 175s. I don't remember. Yeah, these are 215s. So I can't really put anything bigger on this right now with the way that it's designed. I've also got some rust repair that I've got to do. So just get some patch panels cut those out, fix that. See how it goes. But this one's also going to take a while before I can get to it, mostly because it's kind of on the back burner. I'm not really super worried about this car at the moment. That one is the priority. All right, so this is a Mercedes M120. It's a 6-liter V12. It's also the same engine that they put into the Pagani Zonda R. So I want to put this one into either a Chrysler Crossfire, which I think would be both stupid and pretty cool, or a 3rd-gen Camaro. I'm leaning more towards the Camaro, just I think it would fit better. And then lastly, we have my C20, or my 1983 C20 Suburban. So right now, so as you can see, I'm in the middle of doing a brake job. So the driver's side is done. I just got to grease all the fittings and bleed the brakes on this side. But I can't bleed the brakes until I finish the passenger side. And I can't finish the passenger side because this rear bolt hole back here stripped out, and I don't have any helicoils to fix it. And I went to like 3 different parts stores trying to find a helicoil to fix it, and I can't find anything. None of them had the right one. They're all like metric or standard threads, but these are fine threads for some reason. So this one's got the 6.2 Detroit diesel in it. It's pretty dirty. I mean, it's in pretty good shape, but it's kind of dirty at the moment. So once I finish the brakes, or the front brakes and front, so it started off as a front suspension. So I did the upper lower ball joints. I did new shocks, new idler arm, new pitman arm on the other side. These control arms were replaced, and then these back arms here, I don't know what those are called, but those were replaced also. So as I was doing that, I noticed that the rotors were warped, and there was a pretty big groove going from about here all the way up from the pads wearing on it. So I was like, okay, well, these are shot. So I got new brakes, and then the brake hoses are over there on the driver's side. So the brake hoses were broken, so I got new brake hoses. And while I was doing that, I took the calipers off, and the calipers were seized, so those were no good anymore. So I got new calipers, and then I figured might as well get new brakes while I'm at it. And then obviously new rotors, because the old ones were shot. So those are over there. But might be wondering why I got drilled and slotted. It's because these were the exact same price as getting new the solid face ones like that. So I figured if I'm gonna upgrade, I might as well get the performance upgrade. This thing doesn't have enough power for it to really make much of a difference. But I figured it'd be kind of fun to tell people that my 180 horsepower Suburban's got drilled and slotted rotors on it. And so it's again the interior on this thing. It's not in perfect shape, it's still pretty clean. But once the front brakes are done, I got to do the rear drums, and the leaf springs on these are also worn out because they're 41 years old now. So those are worn out. So I got some 3,500 pound springs to replace those with. And then after that, got some body work to do. There's a big dent here. And then up here along the top, this door no longer sits. Well, you can't really see it super well. The door doesn't sit flush against the body anymore, so whenever it rains, a bunch of water gets here on the inside, which is causing a bunch of like rust here along the bottom. It also gets all my tools wet and everything. I just gotta fix this button because it's miscellaneous wiring. Oh, there's a spider. There you go. Yeah. So after rear brakes and leaf springs are done, I want to place the dash because it's cracked and missing parts. The dash itself doesn't work super great. Like all the gauges on here work just fine, but they're dirty and there's a lot of play in them. After that, I think I'm going to take the carpet out, do new carpet. I got to do new door cards. There's also a wiring problem with this one, which I don't know how to fix. But every time I park it or I stop driving it, I have to disconnect the batteries because there's a parasitic leak on here somewhere. And I have no idea where to trace it, or no idea where it's at, because all the fuses that are up there, they're all showing 0 volts or 0 amps or ohms or whatever it is with the batteries connected. So I don't know where that's at, but if I leave the battery plugged in, it will drain it and it will kill my battery. Oh, there's a wasp. So my dad thinks it might be something to do with this button. It's one of the previous owners installed a bypass for the ignition. So the ignition on here doesn't actually work anymore as a result. So I'm assuming that might be a part of it. So I mean, it still works to turn the glow, to actually turn the vehicle on. It still works. Like, it'll go into accessory mode, then I can turn it into start. But after that, I got to use the button to actually bypass the ignition system and then trip the starter, which will start the vehicle. And so that's it. So I'm kind of at a standstill with both this one, that one, and the BMW. I don't really have anything else that I can do today. I'll wait for my friend to get home, see if she's got any helicoils that I can use to actually repair the spindle. I might clean my garage out though, it's pretty dirty. So you might be wondering, why am I doing 3,500 pound springs in the back? Well, this is a C20, so it's a 3/4 ton. It's got the 13-inch front brakes. So I'm going to end up replacing all of the suspension, front suspension, with 1-ton stuff, just so it's a little bit heavier duty. And I want to make this my tow rig, so I can tow the BMW to racetracks and everything. Because with as loud as it's going to be, it's not going to be particularly pleasant to be driving for long periods of time. And where I'm located at, the nearest road course is about 3 hours away. So I'd rather be in this for 3 hours than driving that for 3 hours. But I think I'm going to do I want to do a Caterpillar swap on this. So I've seen people put the 3126 and the C7 and even a couple of 3208s into their 1-ton chassis. And this being the same chassis as a 1-ton, but with lighter duty suspension, I would like to buy one and try to see if I can shoehorn it into there. Because that would give me a towing capacity of like 35,000 pounds or so, which means I won't have to go and buy this like additional vehicle to tow all my stuff around. I can just use what I've already got, and then because it was actually made for towing and like medium duty stuff, the gas mileage won't be affected. So I should, at least from what I've been able to tell, I should get the same gas mileage with that I'm getting now. So this thing gets about 20 miles to the gallon, so I can go 1,200 miles on a tank with this thing, and it's fantastic. But that's all I got. I guess I'm not gonna film the rest of this because I don't want to embarrass myself. I'm gonna give it a little while so I can get established, and then then we can do that. But for right now, I just want to put that helicoil in on the other side and then be done with it. But I guess the next video, which will be in a couple weeks from now, is going to be wiring this engine up and try to get it started. There's a wasp right there. No, run away. All right, well, that's all I got. Guess I'll see you guys later.